It's like in the fog, you know, you're driving in the fog and you imagine you're at the top of your road, but you're not, you're yards away from the top. Well, it's like that in the blackouts. You imagine you've reached the spot and you haven't. And my sister went bang right into the post box and she chipped her tooth, right, half of her tooth right off.
And I went down to try and find a bus at Highgate. Couldn't find the right number for a long time. And then eventually, feeling a bit browbeaten, and it was also raining quite heavily, climbed up to the top stairs of the bus. They were open decks in those days. Put my hand in my pocket, took out my pipe, struck a match to light it, and then I heard shouts from all over the bus, "Put that bloody light out."
Trees, the corners of buildings, all these things proving obstacles. And so we used to paint the corners of them with white paint, paint bands around the lamppost.
And if anyone asked you directions to a certain place, you treated it with consideration because they could be an enemy suspect. And you reported immediately if anyone wanted to know how to get to London or Bournemouth or anywhere like that.
Places where it said City of Portsmouth had to be blank taped. But I don't know whoever thought of all this, because when you walk through the roads, all the drain, the manhole covers had City of Portsmouth on them. All the lampposts had the City of Portsmouth crest on them. So, but they didn't think of that.
The manpower of the fire service was multiplied 15 times. So for every professional fireman we had in London at the beginning of the war, there were 15 auxiliaries eventually employed.
And we had extensive training because, of course, the war had started, as you know, and lots was expected of us. There were very few constables about. Most of them had joined up, and therefore it fell on the specials to fill those gaps.
We opened in a small room in somebody's house, our office, and there were a constant stream of women there, longing to do something, and we had a form for each woman to sign. And I remember they had to be between 17 and 65 for some unknown reason. And we never found out why. And then one found out what they could do, whether it was sort of home skills, cooking and mending and clothing and looking after children, or whether perhaps they'd got in their background something like office work, which again was very useful, or whether they were good drivers, which was very useful.
I just didn't want to be left behind and possibly not pull my weight as I wanted to do. And that was really it. And I think there were a lot of people like me who felt they had a place in the scheme of things.
The reality of it was brought home to us. He said, well, no, you've tried, you know what it is to fire a revolver. And when the Germans come, not if they come, you mark, but when the Germans come, which was more or less imminent, they thought at that time, you will be given 3 bullets. One for you, one for your wife, because they won't have any mercy on you or in uniform, and the third one is for the German. So don't forget, 3 bullets only, and you must use them to the best advantage, and we would advise you to kill yourself, because the Germans won't have any mercy when they come. And that's, you can imagine our feelings when we walked out of that hall in the afternoon. After hearing that, we were brought right down to earth with regard to invasion. We thought it was imminent and that the Germans were coming any moment.
And some of them couldn't take it. They said, oh, you know, nothing seems to be happening. There's no air raids. We thought there were going to be air raids right from the time that war was declared. It hasn't happened for nearly 12 months. So some of them gave it up and they joined the forces. Some of them later had to be brought back to come into the fire service.